What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Halving Report podcast. I am your host, Brad Mines. Today, we're welcoming Lightning, a network payment processor company, and he's here to help us onboard a company and a friend of mine who's bought a business here in the Niagara local area. And we're just excited to have Adam on here to tell him all about the services that they provide. Welcome to the show, Adam. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Sid. Thanks for having me.
If you don't mind, just like a quick introduction and how you partake in the Bitcoin community.
Yeah. So CoinOS is the company. It's coinos.io if you want to visit our website. I've been developing it over the past 10 years or so. It kind of started as a pet project and evolved into a business more recently. I think I incorporated 4 years ago. And the idea is just to give people a really simple Bitcoin wallet app that they can use to send and receive payments. So we're trying to make the user experience as easy as possible so you don't have to learn too much about Bitcoin to use it. Normal people who are used to using PayPal or sending e-transfers or I guess in the US they've got Venmo and Cash App and things. So just these apps that, you can use to transfer money to people. We're trying to do that, but building on top of Bitcoin. So instead of sending dollars around, you're sending Satoshis or, units of Bitcoin. And yeah, I guess my background, I'm a web developer. I did computer science at the University of British Columbia. And I worked for the government for almost a decade doing IT, developing applications for them, a lot of web apps and reporting and managing databases and things. So kind of had that background in tech, and I found Bitcoin in 2011 and just really I got interested in it. I started learning all about it. And after a few months, I had convinced myself that it was the real deal. It wasn't just like a Ponzi scheme or some sort of speculative investment. It was actually really interesting technology that's going to change the world and make everyone better off. So I went to start, shilling it around town. I started trading. I offered to be a local trader. So localbitcoins.com, I registered to buy and sell Bitcoin there for cash and started meeting up with people in coffee shops, uh, McDonald's, restaurants, and getting people their first Bitcoin. Basically, they'd look up Bitcoin, and I would show up as the guy to buy it from in Vancouver for a while. So I would go out and take their cash, set them up with a wallet on their phone, and send them some Bitcoin, and vice versa. Some people had Bitcoin that they'd got from mining or investing or various means, and they want to cash it out. So then I would buy Bitcoin from them and get them cash, and just charge a little spread. So I did that for a couple of years and got to meet tons and tons of people that were getting into Bitcoin. And some of the people I met were hosting meetups for like other groups. Like there was one guy who's doing an ESL meetup to teach people English. And so he was meeting up regularly at these coffee shops and things and had these venues to like bring people to. So we talked to the business owners about accepting Bitcoin payments because we thought it'd be cool to host our Bitcoin meetups there and then actually be able to use Bitcoin to buy things. So that got me to develop CoinOS as like a little app they could use to put their Bitcoin address in and then check when they got a payment and do the math to convert between dollars and Bitcoin, that sort of thing. And it just grew and grew. Now we've got, I think, over 500 merchants using it worldwide. And we incorporated the Lightning Network a couple of years ago. So this is like layer 2 Bitcoin where the payments are faster and cheaper. It's like instant settlement and very low fees. So it's actually competitive with other payment methods. Like it beats a lot of them in terms of speed and price. So yeah, now we're just trying to get the word out that it exists and get more and more businesses to start using Bitcoin to take payments. and we're trying to, keep developing the community here. So there's a bunch of people in Vancouver. There's a lot of different meetups that are happening all the time about Bitcoin. There's tech talks, and there's casual coffee meetups that I host. Sometimes we get speakers coming in, like we had Willy Woo last week come and talk about the Bitcoin markets. Um, so yeah, we're trying to constantly get people together and bring them to these businesses to support them, bring them some new customers that are interested in spending Bitcoin and yeah, get like the circular economy going.
Yeah, definitely an admirable mission you guys have there. Getting Bitcoin adoption to merchants and having people use it in day to day is a great way to onboard all these businesses to accept Bitcoin and attract people from in the community. And this is kind of what I tell my friend is that like it can only help you, right? Like you're just going to get more people interested in or looking at your business for whatever particular reason. In this case, it's going to be Bitcoin. So super exciting stuff there. And you have another initiative, is it RareToshi?
Yeah, RareToshi, it's an NFT marketplace. So artists can, put their images up for sale. They can tokenize them so that if you want to support the artist or buy one of their artworks, you can do it with Bitcoin. And then you get a cryptographic token on the Bitcoin Liquid network, which proves that you're a owner of that artwork. And then you can trade it with other collectors and things, or you can put it in your collection and show other people like all the artworks you've bought. So yeah, it's kind of like a clone of other NFT sites that were or marketplaces that were built more on Ethereum and other protocols. Blockstream wanted to do one that was built on top of Bitcoin Liquid, which is it's another layer of Bitcoin. It's called a sidechain, and it allows you to create tokens and things and transfer them around just like you would send a Bitcoin payment. But instead of using Ethereum to pay for the fees and use that network, it's done on top of this Liquid network, which is it's actually a fork of Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. And why, with all the markets that are out there already that exist for the NFT market, why is this initiative on Bitcoin important to you?
Um, it, I like to support the Bitcoin ecosystem more than the altcoins. So I'm like a Bitcoin maxi, I guess you can say. I don't think there's a need for all these other currencies to exist and all these
Mm-hmm.
other chains and protocols. And I think a lot of them are kind of scammy, like they were just made to take people away from Bitcoin and get their money. Um, so I just kind of wanted to prove that it's not necessary to go to these other platforms and protocols because they claim to have like smart contracting capabilities that you can't do with Bitcoin, but actually you kind of can. So it was more like a proof of concept just to show like, yeah, we can actually do NFTs on Liquid and it works just fine there. But it's not like a big passion of mine, the NFT stuff. I'm more into just getting people to adopt Bitcoin for payments. I think just the basic use case is the more important one right now because there's still so many people that they just they've never even touched Bitcoin and they have no idea how it what it is or how it works. So I'm just trying to get it into the hands of more people and let more people get away from using banks and using dollars for everything.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's, the bigger picture here is getting people adopted and owning Bitcoin and realizing, the revolutionary technology. But, I think what a lot of people miss or maybe a lot of people don't understand is like why are we out here, getting coffee and talking about Bitcoin? Most people or maybe a lot of people are getting into the space to simply make money off of it. And why not? We all getting around talking about Apple stock or Nvidia stock or something like that? Why Bitcoin?
Good point. Yeah. So for me, uh, it's the censorship resistance. It's the fact that there's no third party. It's not just a way to make money. It's a way to have this new tool that we can use to exchange value without having all these middlemen, grifters, leeches, parasites, and taking a cut from every credit card tap and inflating the money supply to steal from everyone who's saving their hard-earned money in the bank. Our purchasing power is getting robbed from us every year. So people, they don't tend to think about these things very much, but if you read a little bit of Austrian economics and libertarian philosophy and things, then it starts to make a lot of sense that free market capitalism is a wonderful thing, and allowing it to operate without friction and without all these rent seekers kind of getting in the way and distorting the markets and basically stealing from people. Everything would be more efficient. We'd have more prosperity, more abundance worldwide. So it'll pull a lot of people out of poverty, give them a better quality of life. These are like big concepts, but on a global scale, yeah, it's kind of a big deal to achieve this stuff.
And I think, yeah, and part of the reason I asked you that is because, I struggle with that, thinking about that too, and like how do we talk to, normal people getting to adopt to Bitcoin, and why we're so passionate about Bitcoin and not something else, right? So I think that was well-rounded answer on how Bitcoin is very revolutionary. But personal question for you, Adam. You say you're a developer. You said you're a gardener. I think you have in your profile there a husband, a father. How do you balance everything in your life? Any time management skill tips?
Yeah, I'm always trying to balance, family life and social life and business life and personal hobbies and uh I don't know, it's sort of just yeah, you have to learn how to say no to things that are gonna suck your time and energy. That's important. And stay healthy, stay fit, exercise, get a good sleep every night, and yeah, just be disciplined. Like, um, don't do things that are bad for you, that are going to slow you down and stress you out. Try to set yourself up for compound interest, compound gains. So get those skills that are going to invest the time now to build skills that are going to save you time in the future. Invest your money so that it's going to make you more money in the future. Um, yeah, the delayed gratification, I guess, is a big concept, right? Like you make some sacrifices, maybe sacrifice immediate pleasures and rewards to get more gains in the future. And you kind of keep that top of mind all the time, or just kind of live that as your philosophy. Then it starts to add up, and you find yourself one day where you're living a pretty good life. So yeah, I'm thankful that I'm kind of in that situation now. I just turned 40, so uh, things are good for me.
Well, happy belated, and I really appreciate your advice. I'm always trying to pick up on people that are doing really cool things and how they balance their life and what kind of general tips they have. So much appreciated. Just pivoting back to CoinOS now. Like I said, I have a friend whose business has now adopted CoinOS for payments, and just wanted to ask you, what are the main features people are using on CoinOS, and is it on chain, is it Lightning, and maybe I don't know if you have any insight to what some of the things you guys are developing for the future.
Yeah, so by default, if you go to receive a payment in CoinOS, it gives you a Lightning invoice. So Lightning is going to be faster and cheaper than on-chain. We encourage everyone to use Lightning because with on-chain payments, just to explain it a bit in case anyone is listening that doesn't really know this, regular on-chain Bitcoin payments, that's like how Bitcoin has been done since it was developed back in 2009, where you put in an address that you want to send to, and then you broadcast this. payment transaction that says you're taking money from your address and moving it to this other address. And you sign that with your digital signature. And it takes a bit of time to get picked up by the rest of the network and then mined into a block. So that mining process, on average, it takes about 10 minutes for a block to be added to the blockchain and to kind of confirm your transaction or finalize it. And the way that that works is that miners prioritize transactions based on the fees that they pay. So each block can only have about 3,000 transactions in it. And if there's more than that are occurring simultaneously, like you come in and there's already 3,000 people trying to make a payment and you're number 4,000, then you can skip ahead and get your payment into the next block if you pay a higher fee than all those other 3,000 people, or you're in the top 3,000. So what happens is when the Bitcoin network gets busy and there's tens of thousands of people trying to make payments, only the top 3,000 fee paying ones are going to make it in. So you have to pay a few dollars to get processed, and then it still takes, like, even in the best case where you're in the next block, it still can take like 10 minutes, or sometimes it's more than 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes on average, but it's kind of slow. So when you're paying for a coffee or something, you don't want to be having the barista waiting for like 10, 20 minutes just to get that green check mark to make sure that the payment is settled and can't be reversed. So Lightning kind of solves this. It's a totally different way of making payments on Bitcoin, where it's kind of like you open a tab with the merchant or the person you want to pay to, and you put some money into there's a joint account with them, and then you can send payments through that joint account back and forth, and there's no fees. It's only when you want to close the tab and take your money back out that you actually have to settle it on the blockchain. And you don't have to do that very often, so it ends up being a lot faster and cheaper to set payments on Lightning. And so with CoinOS, we run a Lightning node on your behalf, so you don't have to do any kind of setup to get onto the Lightning network and open channels or open these tabs, as I was calling it, to other people. We've got all that set up, and you just register at our website with a username and password, and you can receive money into our Lightning node, and then we credit it to your account. And so if you're then wanting to go and send money to another CoinOS user, it's not even going to be done over the Lightning network. We just maintain a database, so we could take money from your account and move it to someone else's account, and it's free and instant. We don't charge anything to do that. If you've got banking with certain banks, I think they let you do transfers like that. Like if you know, at my credit union, if I know another member's bank number, I could send them money, and it's like, it's not using a bank wire, or it's not doing an indirect transfer or anything. It's just like an internal transfer within the bank. You're taking money from my account and putting it in their account. So it's the same kind of concept with CoinOS. I could take money from my account called Adam and move it to your Brad account, and it's not going onto the blockchain or the Lightning network or anything. It's going in my database, and that's the way a lot of people use it. So if I walk into a merchant and I'm buying a coffee from one of the merchants that has a CoinOS account, I'm just sending money from my account to theirs, and it's just kind of like a credit that they get that tells them in dollars how much they received. But they do have the option to like withdraw it and settle it on chain. So if they want to send it to a Bitcoin address or to some external Lightning wallet, they can do that. And we just charge a 0.1% fee for that. So it's a pretty low cost for them compared to taking credit card payments and stuff. They're usually paying 2 or 3% for that. So
Yeah, very very cheap. And how long does that process take to make withdrawals off of your platform?
it's pretty immediate. Like you just put in the address you want to send to, you press send, and the money goes out. You can even set up auto withdrawals. So you can set a threshold in your account. Like once my balance reaches $1,000, I want it to automatically move to my cold storage address, my hardware wallet, or my paper wallet. So you can put in a Bitcoin address for that, or you could put in a Lightning address, like if you've got another Lightning wallet that you just want to sweep the funds from CoinOS to your other wallet. You can put in that, and then anytime your balance goes above that threshold, it's going to automatically withdraw it out to wherever you tell it to go.
And what would you say to a new business, adopting your service today, in terms of, adoption, people maybe that are maybe employees that may be nervous about using it, or just overall general advice you might want to give them?
Yeah, usually employees are kind of ambivalent about taking Bitcoin. They've heard of it, but they don't care too much about it. They don't know why people would want to use it, and they don't often have customers coming in trying to use it. So a lot of the time, business owners will say, "Well, why would I take Bitcoin? Because no one ever asked to use it or anything, and I don't know much about it." So the main selling points that we kind of bring up is that it's going to bring you new customers. So yeah, you might not have your existing clientele asking to use it, but you're going to get new clientele in the form of Bitcoiners from your local area are going to see that you're on the map for Bitcoin, and they're going to start gravitating towards you. So they're going to prefer to shop at your business if you take Bitcoin versus your competitors, because Bitcoiners like to support Bitcoin businesses. They like to spend their Bitcoin, if possible, support those merchants. So it's kind of like free marketing promotion. We'll blast the business out on our socials and let the whole community know that we're taking Bitcoin and try to drive in some new business. And then the other point is it's kind of a really easy setup. Like you don't need to buy any special hardware terminal to be able to take Bitcoin payments. And to get an account at CoinOS, it just takes a few seconds. So you register your username and password and you're ready to go. So it's not like you have to go through some complicated application process where you upload driver's license and utility bills and jump through all these hoops. And we don't even ask for email. So you just create an anonymous account and start receiving Bitcoin immediately. And then you get a QR code that you can put up. So typically we'll print that off for the merchant, give them a QR code to put in their shop, and then that just directs customers to their CoinOS page. So every CoinOS account, based on your username, you have like a public page or public URL that people can visit. So I'm like coinos.io/Adam. If you want to go and send me a payment, you can go there and there'll be a pay now button. So with merchants, it's the same thing. Like your customer comes in, they go to your payment page and they send you a payment, and the whole process takes a few seconds. For staff, they don't really need to even do anything on their end, because the merchant can receive a notification from us when the payment comes in via like a physical receipt printer that we give them. So we've been giving those out for free to a bunch of merchants, and it makes it easy on the staff because they don't have to be on like a tablet or a phone to check the payment. They just get this like paper ticket that comes out and tells them that they received X amount of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and we just treat it like cash. So for staff, yeah, they just tell you what you need to pay, and then the customer does it all on their phone. They pay their bill, and the staff gets a little receipt that says it's done, and it's very easy. So setup is like, yeah, I can walk in, give them their QR code, and plug in a printer for them, and they're ready to start accepting payments. And then we take care of doing all the marketing and stuff, putting them on the BTC map and getting the word out. So as long as they're willing to, give us a chance, they usually find it's really easy, and there's no cost to it. Like you're not paying us to have an account, and you're not paying for transaction fees or anything. You get to keep all the Bitcoin that you receive. So it's a good deal for them.
So just to clarify, you said you guys have a machine that you can give to merchants, so employees don't have to do anything on their end, but see the receipt that's printed out.
Yeah, it's a little receipt printer that I ordered. I ordered a bunch of them from China, and then I customized it a little bit so that I connected it to like a little Arduino board thing, a ESP32 it's called, that has a Wi-Fi module. So um, instead of having to like click print on your phone and like tell the receipt printer that you want to print this document, I've been able to automate it so that the little Arduino board, it's on the Wi-Fi and it's listening for payments on our API. And as soon as a payment comes into the merchant's account, it automatically triggers the printer to put out a receipt. So they don't even need to interact with it or touch it or anything. It just happens automatically. And yeah, they get this merchant receipt that tells them in dollar terms, like, hey, you just got $10 through your CoinOS account. And depending on what point of sale system they're using, they may be able to add like a Bitcoin tender option, so they can put it in as a Bitcoin sale. But failing that, they can also just put it in as cash and treat it as if they'd taken like a $20 bill, right? So they can take that merchant receipt and put it in the till, and then when they're short $20 at the end of the day, when they're doing their cash out, they can just say, oh, actually, yeah, we took $20 of Bitcoin, and we have this paper ticket that kind of shows that. So
Yeah, that's pretty awesome and pretty seamless. We're having the Niagara meetup come to Riverbank Tavern next Wednesday, a week from today at 7 p.m. Where we're we're gonna demonstrate with CoinOS there with Sean Sommers. He's the organizer of the Niagara meetup, and obviously going to be there as well. So we're hoping to have a good turnout, little demonstration with that, and a little Q&A there. But so we're quite excited. I want to ask you, because you've been around the space. You said you dove into Bitcoin back in 2011, which I don't talk to OG Bitcoiners like that every day, right? Like you've been around a while, so I want to ask you, like, what do you find to be the biggest misconception about Bitcoin?
it varies depending on who you're talking to. I think a lot of people just think that it's just a speculative investment. Like they just think it's something that people dreamed up and the early adopters are getting rich off it, and everyone else kind of missed the boat. And now they look at me as like a salesperson, or like kind of like a multi-level marketing guy who's trying to like rope them into Bitcoin or something. And it's like, no, 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 like this will actually be good for you. But
Yeah.
they get that vibe, right? It's got like a kind of sleazy vibe to it because it's dealing with money, right? And people are so used to all these
hmm
different scammers and Ponzi schemes and sketchy stuff that's trying to get money from you. So when one comes along that's actually, reinventing money and trying to get people to ditch the dollar for like a better form of money, they're very skeptical of it. And most people just don't have the time or the background to really get into the details of it and figure out like what's different between this and some sort of shitcoin or some other kind of investment scheme that they might get
hmm
told
hmm
about.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's obviously there's a lot of scammers that come in and around anything to do with money, right? There's going to be people that are trying to scam that money from you, but which makes it seem like Bitcoin could be a scam to those who aren't very savvy with the technology and how it works and everything. But yeah, one of the biggest misconceptions I find is that you have to buy a full coin. I find talking to new folks,
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, I can't $90,000 for a Bitcoin. I can't afford that." Is a typical answer I get. It's That's a good. I think that's a good answer. It all depends on who you're talking to, but yeah. What's your? I know you said last week you had a meetup about markets, and what's the current market sentiment with you right now? Like we're at 64,000 US. How do you feel right now, and what are your predictions for Bitcoin in this cycle coming?
Yeah, I'm not very good at price predictions. I was calling for like Bitcoin to go to $1 million back in 2012, but I'm a little late on my prediction there. But yeah, I think it's still the best one out of all the other alternatives, and there's more and more smart money coming into it, big money starting to catch on, and the infrastructure is getting better and better. Like the scaling solutions, like Lightning, are making it possible to do payments with it, and there's more companies starting to hold it as a reserve asset. And yeah, these financial products are just going to open the gates to like more traditional investors to come into the market. So it's all looking very positive. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we had a nice bull run here to go to 500,000 or $1 million Bitcoin within the next year or two. But I'm always more bullish than has proved to be accurate. So just leave it
Yeah,
at
yeah. No, I've had some crazy bullish predictions in the past year or so for Bitcoin, and I tried to set my expectations lower, especially after last cycle's. I'd say probably a little bit disappointed at the top. I think everyone was hoping for 100K last time around, but I'm pretty confident we'll see at least 100K this time around. I don't know about all those big giant numbers, but again, trying to be realistic, and if it goes above, I'm happier, right? So yeah, and I know nobody can make predictions, but unfortunately, it's what's what a lot of people want to hear is what people think Bitcoin's going to go up to, and it's just a fun question I like to throw out there, but. Yeah, any like immediate plans? Like I know you guys are really focusing on Lightning and merchant adoption. You guys have the printers. Is there any like other major big plans that you guys have down the road that are disclosable, I guess?
Yeah, my priority right now is to introduce a more self-custodial option into CoinOS, because right now it is custodial and manage the funds for all the users there. And I did that so that we can have those, internal transfers and kind of abstract away a lot of the complexity of having to set up Lightning nodes for people, and didn't want to have people worry about writing down their seed phrase and stuff, because just trying to keep the user experience simple. But the Bank of Canada is coming out with some new payment provider regulations and this whole reporting framework and regime that I'm going to have to follow soon as a payment service and a custodian. And I don't really want to have to jump through all those hoops and worry about all that stuff. So I'm trying to think of a way to pivot to just have CoinOS be a non-custodial wallet that people can use to manage their own keys and make their own transactions without having to trust me to hold their money.
Hmm.
It's just figuring out a way to do it without sacrificing too much on the user experience. But yeah, that's kind of my priority at the moment is looking at ways to do that. So
Yeah, that seems to be a challenge with growing regulation. And speaking of regulation, no, like, how do you see regulation in Canada, or is there anything that you would like to see? Would you like to see, that changed or anything else changed?
yeah, I mean it's annoying to have these rules because it makes it harder for small guys like me. Like I'm just single solo founder. I don't have a big legal team. I'm not uh just not equipped to navigate all the regulations and stuff. So it's getting to the point where I don't want to have to hire lawyers to help me with this. I don't want to have to spend too much time making sure that I'm above board and doing all the reporting that's required and KYC, AML stuff. Uh, I do a good job. I haven't lost anyone's money so far, and I think I'm like a pretty honest and trustworthy custodian. But unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to get out of the business because of the regulations. So it'd be nice if, like, I'm a free market guy, right? It'd be nice if people could just decide if they want to take a risk with someone like me, or based on word of mouth, and or the fact that they know me personally, that they're comfortable using my service, rather than having the government have to tell them like, hey, we've green stamped this guy or whatever. So yeah, I'm kind of anti regulation overall, anti government, but it is what it is. I don't want to leave Canada or get in trouble here or jeopardize my family or anything by going against the law. So I'm just gonna have to play by the rules until we defund the state and that sort of thing. But it's a can of worms. So yeah.
Yeah, no, Joe. I'm in the same boat. Not trying to rock the boat too much over here, and jumping through those hoops. Like you do need a lot of resources. Like you do need lawyers and professionals in every sector. And as a small show, it's extremely challenging. So. I hopefully you find something that works for you guys. I also work with Bitcoin Well. We're also getting the Bitcoin, the BTM machine installed in this location here, and they're very much they're non-custodial platform, right, where you can purchase. So I know they're always looking into different ways to kind of skirt around the current regulation, and so maybe they're if you're not already, maybe a good team to connect with as well. But yeah, do you have any other like big partnerships or shout outs in Canada that maybe we should follow?
Yeah, I actually have been in touch with the Bitcoin Well guys. They're awesome. Um, the Bull Bitcoin team, they're pretty solid too. I think they do non-custodial liquid and lightning as well. Um, yeah, and Beaver Bitcoin, they're really supportive. Um, we're having a learning Bitcoin conference out here in Victoria, BC, in September. So just shout that out. Cole and I are going to be speakers there. I think Adam from Bitcoin Well is coming, and a bunch of other folks. And it's kind of focused on uh, teaching people about Bitcoin, getting yeah, getting people over that misconceptions that we talked about earlier. And it's going to be a nice venue in Victoria. It's a really beautiful city. So anyone who can watching this, I've just got time in September 28th. Um, Check that out, learningbitcoin.ca.
Very cool. No, I appreciate the recommendation. And you're not gonna be in Niagara region next week by chance, are you?
I don't think so. But yeah, how many attendees are you guys getting, and how's it going out there?
I would say Sean Somers has a good core of 8 to 10 people that come every single time, which is awesome to see, and usually in Niagara Falls. But we're bringing it to Welland, which is the very center of Niagara region, and um, we're hoping to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to have some of my friends coming out. Just been onboarding some new people lately, so they're gonna come on out and really trying to make a bigger event. Now at the Halving event, I was very surprised. That was in the falls, and it must have been 40 people, I would say, which I thought was pretty huge. I was a little bit shocked to show up and see how many people were at the Niagara Bitcoin meetup. But I've been on a good education campaign lately, and trying to make partnerships with other people in this space, and we're really trying to make it a big one here next Wednesday. So that's why we're bringing the BTM in. We're accepting Bitcoin payments, and yeah, so we're just trying to tackle it all angles right now and get set up for next week. So we're really excited. Adam, if you have any maybe final words of wisdom or any questions for me, maybe if not, let us know where we can follow you and learn more.
Yeah, I will try to send you one of our printers. It might not arrive in time for next week, but I'll get you one so you can have it for the future. And I forgot to shout out we're having a Bitcoin block party again. So we had one last year, end of August. There's another one coming up in Vancouver. So, but I think last year we had over 300 people, and it's a big outdoor event. We get a bunch of the vendors out, and it's like a big Bitcoin party. So, DJs, workshops, and all that. So that's worth making the trek out to Vancouver for anyone listening. And other than that, I'm on X. I'm Adam Soltys, or you can look up CoinOS Wallet. And usually Telegram is a good spot to find me if you want to chat. Find the Vancouver Bitcoin Telegram or CoinOS Wallet on there as well. And coinos.io is our website. So get an account there, start using the Lightning Network. If you know any business owners, please, share it with them, and we'll get being on the Bitcoin map and keep spreading Bitcoin adoption.
Awesome. I appreciate all that information you gave us there. And let's talk about get the Bitcoin map, because I need to get Riverbank on there sooner than later. And much appreciate your time, Adam. And yeah, we'll definitely be in touch, man. Thanks a lot for doing the Halving Report.
Thanks for having me on.